Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're just gonna get right into it. No cheese, all sauce. Okay, welcome back to episode 16 of the Kaiju Resumed podcast. This was an insane week, a disgusting week. Okay, Blake completely nailed it. I completely fumbled when it comes to Kaiju number 8. I mean, what an amazing episode, though. We're going to get into that. That's going to be a ton because that was like one of the best episodes of the year. We have Windbreaker to talk about. That was insane. Demon Slayer. Now I'm going to talk about this episode of Demon Slayer, but we're going to be talking about how everyone is shitting on season number 4, saying it is a filler season, how it's garbage, and how it's ruining the series. So we're going to get into that. And I'm actually going to talk about filler in general, because I think filler gets a bad name. There is good filler that's actually like entertaining and enjoyable to watch, and then there's shitty filler where it's just pointless. And I feel like that is the filler that everyone focuses on, and that's why they hate it. But I feel like it can be a good thing. And then, I say Windbreaker. Windbreaker's good. Back to our roots. Back after you're in school. It was sick. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And then we're gonna like hold off My Hero Academia. Usually we talk about that one as well, But we're taking a millennia and a half to get into the actual fights. There is stuff to talk about, but very little compared to everything else. So let's just fucking send it with Kaiju number 8. Like, oh my god, dude. Oh my, you nailed it. I was so wrong on everything. I'm like, yeah, no, Mina's not gonna come. It's just gonna be, Kaiju number 8. It's gonna be Hoshina. They're gonna be fighting Kaiju 10, right? Maybe we're gonna learn something about Kafka from Kaiju number 10. Nope, he fucking died. I was like, no one's gonna know about his powers. It's like My Hero Academia until the end of the series. Then people are gonna know. Like, fucking outed himself. Like, holy shit, this episode, dude.
Dude, top tier. When you were like, yeah, this might be fucking episode of the year for me. I'm like, I'm definitely with you because that was awesome. I literally rewatched it just because it was so fucking good. But I just figured because of his personality, Kafka, and like some of the other people showed up that were off duty. I just figured that would be a good guess. And
What, for
yeah,
Mina?
it was fucking. Yeah, I just figured she would show up since everyone else did. And I mean, obviously, it's a good thing she did because it's getting out of hand.
Bro, like, Mina showed up with her massive gun. She has to be the only anime character, person in general, that's not overcompensating. Like, her metaphorical dick is
Yeah.
massive. Like, she is
Facts.
so strong and so badass. It's insane. It was insane. Like, let's talk about this for one. Hoshina, I loved seeing part of his backstory in this episode because we always have the perspective of the underdog,
Yeah.
the person at the bottom, and they have their story, and that's the fire that's in them, right? That chip on the shoulder that's getting them to the top. And you forget that the people at the top have the same goddamn story. They have something that's pushing them, that's fueling them. And you see Hoshina's, and you see that's why Hoshina is still pushing for even higher. He's still pushing himself to get better and to get stronger. It's not just, oh, he's strong at the top, now he's complacent, he's lazy, and that's it. Like, no, dude, that guy's still grinding. He's still working hard. He's still pushing to get even higher. So I thought that was really cool. And also, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I could be reading into this, but I think that that's why he also kind of gave Kafka more of a chance, is because he saw everyone be like, "Oh, dude, you're old, just quit," and it reminded him when everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you're a blade wielder, like, no, just quit." You know what I mean? I feel like that's why he was kind of like, you know what, let's give this kid a chance. He also could have just thought, the guy's really funny, he's entertaining, let's just entertain this a little bit. But I feel like he wanted to give Kafka the same chance that Mina gave him.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It was cool to like see that backstory and kind of, I don't know, it paints a better picture of who Hoshina is and like his personality and stuff. Like he does have that chip on his shoulder, but it's warranted. Like he's been, I don't know, kind of like Sakura. They kind of look down on him in a way, and like I'm sure that builds character in a way. Like it kind of makes you resentful of the situation. And obviously, he's like an elite blade wielder. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like these custom
badass! Like,
and these
he
like
killed it.
custom. Yeah, dude, and like these custom weapons the Defense Force makes, it was like, I don't know. You don't think they could engineer like some wicked swords? And obviously they did, but yeah, it was cool to see. And then like in the middle of the fight, he's obviously like kicking ass and keeping up with like a completely new monster, a new kaiju that nobody has any information on. So it made him look really badass, but also like kind of made you empathize with his character more.
It made you kind of like fall more in love with him because we already like,
For sure.
if anyone didn't like him up until this point, like, that's a surprise. Dude was insanely strong, insanely powerful, and just a cool guy. Like, he was so fun. He helped bring that comic relief to the anime. Like, it just at the same time, dude, when that guy has his swords out and he's got that serious look in his eyes, it's like, yo, like, let's go. This guy's hungry. He wants to eat. Like, just such a cool character, and learn more about him and get more in depth with him, and more about his backstory. I absolutely love, because I love when they do that. I love when they're like, okay, here's this universe of characters, and then you dive deeper into them, and you really kind of get attached to more than just the main character or like the main two or three characters. You know what I mean? and it just
Yeah,
kind of like makes
exactly.
you appreciate the world of Kaiju number 8 more.
Yeah, and it's not just all about like the main character, like Ishikawa and Kafka. Like you have a really good balance, and obviously we like Mina. She's awesome. I think we'll get more about her later, but they've done a really good job of like making a cool cast. I think, and Hoshina's definitely at the top for me. He's very fucking cool, and this episode I think did a good job of like kind of giving him the spotlight.
Oh, for sure. The spotlight was all on him, but he was talking about how he is not that good with the big kaijus, and dude, he held up.
He
Like
kept up. Hell yeah.
he held
And
up.
like the size difference, you know what I mean? That thing was fucking huge, like the second or third time. And yeah, obviously he did better than kept up. He like I mean, I felt like he won. Obviously, he's got this crazy regenerative abilities that just make him bigger and bigger. But after a while, yeah, I mean, it was just very impressive what Hoshino was able to do.
So real quick, is Kaiju number 10 dead? Like, is that really it
I
for him?
I guess like I would assume he didn't survive that explosion, right? Like he just kind of self-destructed some like Majin Buu type shit,
Well, he didn't self destruct. He was on the ground
or like
still.
I don't
And he
know.
was even still alive when the bomb first came to be. He said, "I will call this one a draw." And then
Yeah,
I
I guess
forget
you're
if he
right.
croaked or if he was still alive or like what's the full extent of that story. Because I feel like it's hard to believe that we had Kaiju number 9, and dude, he was like a snake. He was like a Orochimaru, where he would just always somehow escape these, your back's against the wall, dead type of situations, and keep coming back. And then you introduce another one that can also speak and has the same kind of abilities, and that like it dies like what 2 episodes into having it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think they would kill it off so fast, especially because, like you said, Kaiju number nine's like real greasy and like intelligent, and obviously is not gonna. I wouldn't think they're gonna kill him off like
Whoa.
in just a couple episodes or in the first season or something. So like, I guess if I had to guess, these like high level kaiju are intelligent, right? Like they can speak. They're like Hoshina said, this one has emotions. Like he's enjoying the battle. Like it's new to them. We kind of touched on it last week with the Defense Force maybe being like a step or two behind. But yeah, I would think there's something going on like with these high level kaiju that like yeah they're not just gonna like kill them off. I don't know if there's like a clan or a group or whatever, but they're definitely coming from somewhere and they're not dumb. So
Well, like
I
real
don't think
quick
we've seen the last
too,
of them.
is that like I was supposed to say Kaiju number 9 didn't take a round from Mina like that also. So like
That's true. He
entirely
almost
possible
did
he's
get
actually
killed.
dead.
Fucking Kafka easily would have killed him in that first fight. You know what I mean? Like if
Oh
the
yeah.
defense force didn't get in the way, he probably would have killed him. So that is true. You definitely are right about that.
Yeah, it took quite a few rounds from the Great Mina. So I mean, that was insane. I also think it's kind of crazy because she only fired off like what 2 shots, but and they said that used up a lot of her power. But like the last kaiju she went up against, she shot like 9. So like
Yeah, she shot a bunch of them.
I don't know how that necessarily works or what, but I thought that was absolutely insane. To be honest, I kind of would have liked Kaiju number 8 and Hoshina to have fought the thing together instead of Mina just coming in like pew pew. You know what I mean? I felt like that would have been kind of cooler and kind of would have helped the bond. That kind of like Kaiju number 8 working with the defense force type thing, and like I could tell because I thought I was right for a second. Because Kappa starts running towards, he's going to Hoshin, he starts transforming, and that's when Hina steps in. And after that, that's when I knew I'm like Kafka's gonna get seen. Like because you can tell he doesn't care and he keeps itching to kind of transform in front of everybody, and you just know that like the first chance he gets, he's gonna do it. And then he got the chance at the end, and that's when he transforms in front of everybody, and it's just like holy shit. First of all, badass him just jumping up and then just punching that thing, comes back down, but then everyone's just
So
like,
sick.
oh no.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see like Hoshina's reaction because like he almost says it like jokingly, like, "Oh, I'll give you 1% of my expectations." He's like, "I had no idea, like, I just didn't think it would be possible." But like, obviously, there was a reason he was there. So like, he kind of knew deep down like something was up with Kafka.
Oh yeah,
But
he
that was
said he
cool.
didn't want it to be true. He's like, I knew something was wrong. I didn't want it to be true.
Yeah, like it was kind of cool. I don't know. I like that scene. His like face was like shocked at first, and then he's like almost annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kafka. I figured just because of like who he is, like he sees everybody else giving 100%, so he like feels indebted to like at least like lay his life on the line, like he says.
And you
But
want that though, because you don't want to just see his intelligence. You want to see that strength too. Like he can put up, like he can fight.
exactly,
So like I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Mina arresting him was tough. I would have liked to seen a little bit more emotion from Mina though. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
all she does is like she's like Kafka or like no Kaiju number 8. It was like come on now,
Yeah,
little
like
empathy here, honey.
she was like really surprised, but like her arresting him, I wanted like a little bit more emotion from that. Like that's your best friend who was like just turned into a kaiju. You know what I mean? Like
And he did fucking save everybody. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like that
that
has to
was
be a
clutch.
that has to be a complex like just mess of emotion, and like we just kind of saw more like sternness where it's just like you said, like Kafka, like you know, Kaiju number 8, you're under arrest, and it's like but like I can't wait to see how it plays out. Like again, I only kind of necessarily thought it was gonna go on for a long time without people knowing because of that kind of like spoiler I saw. Um,
Did
but
you see
like,
a spoiler for Kaiju?
well, I saw the lineup, so I see where they end up, or at least where they end up so
Oh,
far in the
okay.
manga. Like what division they're in, what ranks they're at. You know what I mean? So that's what's like, oh, like I'm not sure how this is gonna
Oh
play
yeah,
out.
yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
So like I'm kind of interested to see because like I guess I can give this little bit of a spoiler. Like I don't know. I don't know. Listen, if you don't want to hear it, just like skip like 2 minutes because it's not like a big one. The only reason why I thought we have the things the what's it called so you can see where the spoiler's gonna be over. I
What are those called? Like the
chapters.
timestamp
Yeah.
or chapters? Yeah. All right. I bet.
So what I ended up seeing is that Kafka isn't in Division 3 at some point. At some point, he's not in Division 3 anymore. So I thought that if he exposed himself, they would sit there and be like, we keep this in house. If he goes rogue, we're the ones that kill him.
We'll kill him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So when I saw that he wasn't, at least for a temporary time, in Division 3, I was like, okay, maybe no one knows. But maybe that's the exact reason why they did move him, because it's like, well, Mina, you're too close to this. How do we know you're going to take the shot if something goes wrong?
Yeah. It's a good point actually, because I'm sure she knows like everybody knows about their friendship, obviously from
Mm-hmm.
Kafka telling them.
Like
But that's
screaming
a good
about it like
point.
9 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mina!
Multiple times actually.
I'll
He's like
stand
definitely
next to
let us.
you!
Yeah. He's let everybody know more than once. That's for sure.
So,
Um.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very
That's not like
interested
a
to
crazy
see.
spoiler or anything, but yeah, yeah, I'm definitely with you. It'd be interesting to see like how that all comes together.
Yeah, dude, next episode is going to be absolutely insane because like what's going to happen now? Like the dude's in custody, he's under arrest. You know, I think there's going to be some backlash because Shinomiya and Ichikawa, did one of them or did both of them say something? Like I think Ichikawa said, "Hey, you can't come back from this." Well, if I'm one of the officers or one of the leader, like you know, captains or whatever, I would turn around and be like, "Oh, so you knew about this?" You know, like what do you mean you
Shit,
can't
you
come back
knew?
from this? So you don't
Yeah,
seem so surprised.
that's your boy, right?
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that they're just equally as at fault for letting a kaiju, you know, technically infiltrate the ranks of the defense force. But that's technically what happened.
I think he'll get off because Shinomiya would tell the truth. She'd be like, "Yeah, he actually defeated the Honju or whatever that was gonna, I guess got revived by Kaiju number 9, right?
So
And
you
he
think
was the one who saved her. So like he'd be like, oh, she would be like, no, he's a good guy. Like he might be a
Ichikawa
Kaiju, but
could do
he's
the same
protecting us."
thing from the first situation with the kid?
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right. I think they could spin it like he's got enough evidence, and then obviously the help he's given us from this episode, he's got like at least 3 instances where he's like going out of his way to like help
For
either innocent people
Iharu,
or yeah,
remember that situation as well.
exactly. So like he's got a handful of like good we'll say brownie points or whatever you want to say, like 4 good examples to like back up him
Being a good
not
guy.
getting executed. I think he'll like sit in front of some kind of panel. You know what I mean? Like since Mina's, I guess, what is she, the captain, right?
She's the captain of the third division. Yeah.
So whoever like organizes this, your generals or however the fuck they have it laid out, you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll have something to say with it. I guess we'll get maybe a scene like that next episode, but it'll be cool to see how they kind of proceed with this whole situation.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of people that are good at bat for him. So you have Ichikawa that can defend him from the first situation, Shinomiya from the second one. Iharu, he even said, you know, Kaiju number 8 stepped in when me and Ichikawa were about to die and helped us out. Then you have everybody in the fourth one where he just completely gets rid of this bomb and saves, like, a nice chunk of Japan. Like, they said that was the equivalent to a nuke that Kafka just got rid of.
That was sick.
And let's not
I
talk
forgot about
about
that.
how no one got hurt, but yet those massive walls got ripped down from the shockwave. But everyone else was just like I feel like they over exaggerated that. Like if you have these
Yeah,
massive,
that was funny.
thick ass concrete walls that are getting ripped apart from the shockwave, how is someone laying on the ground like going to be good against that? You know what I mean?
They're getting blown apart.
Exactly. Like I feel like they went a little too crazy showing off the effects of the bomb, but yeah, like it just absolutely insane. And the one thing like I keep like looking at is like I get he's in custody, but how can he do so many good things, not hurt a single person and still be like looked at as this goddamn criminal? I get it. He's a kaiju, but still. You know what I mean? Like how's there
Yeah,
any evidence that like the kaiju part of him is taking over and messing with his decision making, and all this other stuff. Like, bro's acting like the same he's always been. He has no like animosity or intention of hurting humans, and he's purely on their side and protecting them. And yet, it's always like, okay, well, he's an enemy. It's like so stupid.
yeah, yeah. You're exactly right. And I think he could go to bat for himself and say like, this is what happened. This thing, possessed me and flew down my fucking throat. But like, you know what I mean? It's like wasn't even his fault when him and Ishikawa were sitting in the hospital, which kind of gets him off the hook, sort of, Ishikawa. But I think he has enough of a case with like kind of the stuff we just touched on and the fact that it wasn't his fault, and also the fact that the defense force doesn't really like know exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? They have all these new kaiju coming out, so like you could at least step back and be like, yeah, there's stuff we don't know, and like we're not 100% confident on the situation, so like let's not kill by far our strongest asset.
Yeah, like they need him because not only is he insanely strong and he can, fight off these like this new generation of kaiju, but he's also crazy intelligent and his brain is needed to help combat against these kaiju because he's able to tell them like, hey, here's where the cores are. Like no one knows the autonomy. What the fuck's that word?
The anatomy, yeah, yeah.
Anatomy. Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
it's
All right.
it's Monday, bro.
Of these kaiju like he does. You know what I mean? He knows exactly how they work. So, and he even says, he's like, oh, here's how to take it out, but not just for our strong fighters. Here's how our weak fighters can do it too. So he's such a critical asset for them.
He's a good leader. You know what I mean? Like he would make a good, I don't know, whatever you want to say, division or like vice commander, vice captain or whatever. Like he's a good leader. I think he like is considerate of everybody's kind of like skills or skill level, and tries to like best, put them in position to succeed. Whereas somebody like Shinomiya is like mostly concerned with, I mean, getting the job done, but she's like more selfish. So I think Kafka's a good leader, and that too I think is important. You know what I
Their
mean?
dynamic is a lot like Mina and Hoshina's, where like Kafka's a lot like Mina, and
Ooh,
then Hoshina is a lot like
fire.
Shinomiya. You know what I mean? Like
You're
it's just they got that
exactly
dynamic.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I feel like the author would love that you said that.
The author's like, well, that's actually the spoiler guys that I saw earlier.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think the manga's that far, but that would be cool if eventually in the manga. Again, I haven't seen the manga. If in the manga, Kafka can
Yes.
rise to that level, or at least it's further along in the story where you see people from his class hitting those kind of ranks.
I got sniped. I was scrolling on Reddit and there was like a manga panel. I want to say it was like episode or chapter 100 and something. Like it's not that far in,
Okay.
but it's definitely got some content. It was immediately like, just forget what you saw.
Were you just like, oh shit? Like,
Yeah, and like I've tried to unfollow like pages that like post stuff like that because I like the art, but at the same time, I'm not trying to have shit spoiled. Like I'll
yeah.
find it if I want to.
I deleted
Yeah,
Instagram. I'm like, no, I'm good. It's not
I
worth
must
it.
have I must have missed one. It's just like, oh shit, oh shit.
Off track, but did you see that I think someone got arrested because someone in their office, did an Oshinoko spoiler, so they beat the fuck out of them?
Holy shit! That's wild. Yeah, I
someone
told you that show is that insane.
someone dropped the spoiler and the guy kicked his ass for it because he got so pissed off, and I think he got arrested.
That's wild. He probably runs a fucking anime page where he spoils shit all the time.
Probably. I saw that. I'm like, I don't know if it's true, but that's so funny. Like relatable.
Just imagine, yeah, being in court. It's like, I just had enough of this guy at work. The Oshinoko spoilers were the final straw.
And the judge was like, whoa, Oshinoko? You're set free, man. You're set free.
I feel you. I feel you.
He's a great anime.
A man of culture as well.
Alright. So is there anything else from Kaiju number 8 this week? Or was that did we miss anything? I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm excited to see what next episode's like. I feel like we'll get a better idea of what's coming up. You know what I mean? What the next arc or the rest of the season or whatever will look like.
before the next kind of debate and rant with Demon Slayer, we're gonna take a little break with Windbreaker because, dude, Kaiju 8 and Windbreaker. I mean, we're getting to the end of the seasons, and dude, I am just anxious. I am depressed. I don't want to see these animes go, man, because like we're reaching points too where like we're about to end the season. And it's like we're just in such a great fucking spot. Like it just sucks to kind of end it here because Kaiju 8, I mean, just so much in the air, great combat. I mean, Kafka just came out as Kaiju number 8. It's like, oh my god, what's going on? What's gonna happen? With Windbreaker, we finally wrapped up the Shistoran arc, and we're back at Furin, and it just felt good this episode. It just felt like boys were back. We got some comedy, we got some fight scenes back. We're learning about the other two guys, the Rip dude and the guy who's got that fashion that you like, that style.
Yeah,
So it's just really
it was
nice
cool
to
to
see.
yeah, it was cool to meet a couple of those other characters. The muscle-bound ginger afroed man. His name, it was difficult to say. I'm like, I feel like I needed that. Like, I needed a few weeks to remember that. But Kiryu, I can remember that name for sure. But he was fucking sweet, super cool character, and he always has that like cat face. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. His faces were really funny, but he has that like cat mouth. I don't know. I definitely enjoyed this episode.
I
But
don't think I noticed
it's
that.
cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in too deep, but yeah, it was a good episode for sure. Might have just exposed myself there, but we'll move past it.
Dude, I mean, there was a lot of this episode. It's amazing. I'm unlike you. I did not remember the names. I didn't even write them down. I was looking just to make sure. Like, did I write those names down? I'm like, nope. Just Jack
I'm
dude
like,
and Suave dude, just Suave. He's just got that look.
yeah, it's real suave with the ladies, and everyone immediately is like, "Yo, shit, this guy has a girlfriend." What? Like, there were so many good comical moments, like Sakura blushing the whole time.
Oh my god, bro! The when they're in the restaurant and the yellow haired kid's freaking out, and he's just like, "Oh my god, it's so and so! Like this is so amazing!" And the Jack dude looks at him and he's like, "Well, it looks like you're having fun. I'm glad."
Yeah, yeah. He was cool. He's a cool character, and like once they start fighting, like the whole, I think what Windbreaker does really well is like they've given everybody like their own identity. Like they're at this wrestling themed restaurant, which is very like fucking
They're all
cool.
very
You know what I mean?
personable.
It like sets his character up well, and like,
Mhm.
and when he actually fights and he like suplexes this dude, which was super sick.
That would have
Like,
been dead though, like just on the asphalt. Like, are you kidding?
yeah, that guy, that's a murder. That guy is definitely going to jail. Yeah, I let this guy punch me in the face, and then I suplexed him and snapped his spine.
He just disintegrated the back of his skull. Like, oh my god.
I immediately thought of Kiryu, like earlier at the restaurant. He's like, "Are you aware like how people perceive you?" And he's just like, "Exactly like I am." He's like, "Yeah, you're fucking scary. You're jacked and like intense."
He's like,
And then
"I'm
he immediately
terrified."
like body bags this kid for punching him. It's like, yeah, this guy kind of rocks.
Bro, they're both amazing. It's like you were saying, like they're very personable. Like they have like big personalities, and they express themselves a lot, and you kind of see how different they all are. But like at the same time, dude, I was watching this episode, like these guys are all just fucking awesome dudes. Like guys
They
that like
work well together. You're
all
not
they-
like
yeah.
competing with favorite characters and shit. Like
Mhm.
I feel like they do a really good job of like, and so does Kaiju, but it's a different situation. Like I don't know, Windbreaker has like a good group of like the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're super strong, and like you think they'd be scary and intimidating, but I'm like, dude, I would love to hang out with these guys. Like they're just like I said with the Jack dude, just
Fact.
being like this guy's freaking out. Like you think that they'd have like that nasty bully tough guy attitude, where it's like, dude, like what's what's the matter with you? Like fuck off. But instead, he's like, oh, like you're having fun. Like I'm glad, man. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. You know what I mean? It's just like little things like that, and like it's like, dude, like do you not like see how people perceive you? Like you're terrifying. And he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Like I didn't mean to
That was
like,
hysterical.
like he was just like so apologetic, and like didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable, and like I don't know. I feel like that the characters in this anime are just so good. They're just so well written. They're just so well designed, and it's just like they're all like, again, their own person. It's just really awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and like they each have a different fighting style. Like they're not all just like brawlers. Like you have a wrestler. You have like Sakura's really like into kicks and like fucking
Oh,
flying around
Dude,
and
when he
like
came in with that kick, oh my god,
so sick.
wasn't
When he
even
kicks
like,
the two guys too, that was really cool.
yeah, wait, I'm trying to remember. So it wasn't even like that cool, but like I freaked the fuck out. Like when it's the beginning of the fight, and they're kind of getting into it, and then he just comes out of nowhere and just kicks the kid in the face. I was like, holy shit, like let's go, like that's our
That's
boy,
sick.
that's our boy.
Yeah,
When did
that's
they get the two
Sakura.
guys though? What happened with that? I think I
Like
forget that part.
Kiryu turns around to like talk to Suo because he's been protecting like the girl and Nirei.
Oh yeah, that was
And then
fucking
like the
awesome,
two dudes try to jump him and he fucking just comes in from the side and like takes them both out. It's like, yeah, this is sick.
dude. Amazing. Like yeah, those three fighting were just so sick. The fight styles were amazing. It was just like it was just awesome, man. I can't wait to see them all interact more and kind of go on. Like that's an anime where I love it to just be kind of like slice of life. I wouldn't mind it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind if it
Yeah,
doesn't have like a
give me my 28 Frieren episodes with every anime from now on.
Yeah, please. That would be amazing. Like a Freeran kind of style with Windbreaker would be sick, where it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like slice of life, but then you're going on this journey. You have like a goal. You know what I mean? Like I would love that because like you have a group of characters that you can do that with and have it be very, very enjoyable, in my opinion.
Even like the I don't even know what you want to say, like the actual story where they're not fighting, where they're not just brawling and stuff, like it's still really funny. Like Sakura has literally no friends, no contacts, just the weather.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like I feel like everybody has like a boomer friend. Like that one guy who's like, you know, in their 20s or 30s has like no social media. They like don't fucking do computers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like trying to explain to somebody like, "Oh, my graphics card died." They're like, what are you talking about, son? It's expensive. You know what I mean? But like Sakura is that kid. And that's it. Those scenes were like really fun. Right. It's got a lot to like enjoy and watch. It would be
Yeah.
like a good slice of life for sure.
Yeah, it would be sick. And you have the journey he's going on, which is sick that everyone's so cool with him being like, oh, yeah, I want to be the number one in the school. Everyone's just kind of like, you know what? They're around him for like 5 minutes and like, we respect that. Because I think the Jack kid even said that. He's like, oh, I thought that was really cool that you said that. And I just thought that
Uh,
that's awesome how like he has this big dream and he kind of says it out loud and you usually get shit on for that. But everyone's like, you know what, dude? Like, fuck yeah. Like, go for that. Like, that's cool to like have the balls to say that. And especially in that group with those kids at Furin. Are you kidding me? And he's just like, yep. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Like he's definitely held his own, but I like that more that the characters are like supportive of him and want to see him because he's like the outsider. He's the guy who came in from out of town and like it could be easy. It would be easy enough to just shun him, but I think he would end up being like a badass villain. Instead, they're like, you know, he's still got a lot to learn because he's always blushing and shit. But
Yeah.
like, he's got a lot, like a really good crew around him. And even what's her name, Tachibana, like she gives him her number. Like she obviously like looks out for him and like feeds him. So
And gives
he's
him
got like good
shit.
people in his
Like,
life.
oh, I added myself too.
Like, oh,
He's
look
like,
at you, you
why?
got my number. Yeah, and he's like, why? I love when they're like texting and he's like too slow and he's like, yeah, why? Why are you using smartphones? Like, you're gonna see me at school.
I love how he gets pissed off by it though, because he's like trying to like message. He's like, fucking stop! Like, stop messaging me more. Like, let me send
He's
my
just an
thing.
old. He's an old man in a 15-year-old's body.
Yo, for real. And I love how he stays true to his character. I love how like he's that kid who comes
Yeah.
in and he wants to be number one and he wants to fight everybody and prove he's the toughest. And I love how like someone's like, oh, like you want to go? He's like, fuck yeah, like let's do it. You know what I mean? I forget who it was at
Always,
the
dude.
restaurant, but like I think it was the Jack dude, or was it
Yeah.
the kid with style?
That was it was the Jack dude.
Yeah, he's like, let's go out and fight, and he's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, oh my god, like, no, not again. But like, I love that. Like, he's still staying true to that character. Like, that guy doesn't back down no matter what. He takes every fight. He never says no. He's like, all right, let's do it. You know, and I hope like he always stays like that. And hopefully, I want to see more of that though. Like, I like how like with Shugashita, I think his name is. I like how they actually had a
Mm.
little bit of a brawl. You know, when they first interacted. Like,
That
I don't.
was cool.
I don't want it to be like, oh, like you want to kind of go outside and fight, and then he's like, yeah, like let's do it, and then it constantly just does not happen. I think it'd be cool to kind of have those like little interactions and actually have him fight a little bit, so we can see like how he matches up against the Furion kids.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I agree. And then like we met some of the like second and third years maybe, or they were all second years, but like we're meeting more characters, and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta like start writing these names down. But
Oh my god,
maybe
there's
we'll
so
see some of
many.
that. Maybe they'll like have competitions or like training in between the classes and sparring and shit. Like I have a feeling we'll get more fights like that, or maybe not fights, but like more
Scuffles,
scenes where they
scrimmages.
scuffles. Yeah, scrimmages. Exactly. Yeah, a little
Oh wait, no,
skirmish.
sparring. Fucking
All these S words. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think they'll take that out because I for one like love the scenes at the school, right? Like you have
Oh,
everybody
love
kind of
that.
interacting. You had the chalkboard, which is like fucking decked out with the dragon, like all the graffiti. It's a very cool environment. And like I know we keep like the whole slice of life thing. It makes it enjoyable to watch because like the setting is so cool. And I feel like that's what half the people liked about Freren. It was like a very good and fitting setting I feel like Windbreaker does that extremely well. And maybe it's not that hard, but like the art and the way like it's animated, I think it's fucking outstanding. So I think we will get a lot more of that, like
Yeah,
actual action at the schools. And
yeah.
also, does this place have teachers? Are there adults
No,
here?
no, there's not.
It's like what the fuck?
um,
Umamiya is the ultimate adult there.
dude, he is. He's like a mom. Like he's just like, all right,
He's up there
barbecues with the
gardening.
boys. Yeah, he's got his garden, bro. Like it's awesome. And like there's like the environment's so cool. Like you're saying, it's sick. The characters are amazing. So I cannot wait to see more. Hopefully, it gets to season 2. That's the problem. Is that like there's a chance that it's not going to happen because it is still criminally underrated. Like no one's really watching it.
Yeah, I looked up. I can't remember where. I like a couple different places, and it was like, damn, there's nobody talking about Windbreaker, which
Yeah,
is kind of sucky. And like, I feel like Cloverworks is like a big time studio, so people like check it out regardless. But hopefully they find the casual weeb and check it out. You know?
yeah. Let's do it, boys. You got it. You got to check it out. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But last thing about Windbreaker, the very end. That was awesome when they're like, "Oh, let's have a class representative," or was it a class or was it a grade? Like a
Like the
representative.
grade captain. So Suo volunteers Sakura
That was
for
awesome.
grade captain,
I
which
love
is really
Sakura
sick.
was just like, "Oh, I never thought he'd volunteer for something like this," and he's like, "Fuck."
So like Suo, I love him. He's probably my favorite character because he's like always doing the right thing. He's like fucking classy. He's funny. But Sakura's voice actor, I watched the dub or the subs. I watched the subtitle. His voice actor is so fucking good. Like
Yeah,
yeah, he's always like screaming when he's surprised and shit. That was a really good scene.
dude, it's like Sua is that friend that's very introverted, very low key, but like the greatest friend to have. Like the
It
one that's gonna
reminds
have
me.
your back, who's gonna look up to you, admire you, like want to push you to get even better, who's gonna like have your best interest in mind. But he knows he's like, okay, well, this kid wants to be number one in the entire school. We'll start with the grade. You know what I mean? Like this is the guy that we need to run our grade.
True that.
That's going to get him to eventually replace Umamiya and be the top of the school. Like this is step one, buddy. You know what I mean? And he is great in that leadership role, and he's made for it. He's the one that during the story arc fired everybody up and got them going, and put that again that chip on their shoulder. I forget who it was, but the dude he's the only one I don't really know their name of the four kings. He's like, dude, are you kidding me? You're letting that kid kick your
Yeah,
ass? Like that's pathetic. And he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this freshman that shit talking, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
gets sparked up again. So I feel like he's just such an awesome dude, and that was such a great thing to do, and like it needed to happen. You know what I mean? So hopefully, like you were saying too, with like some intergrade fighting, hopefully the captains of or the leaders of the grades or the classes, have a bit of a go, and we see how he does against some of the other captains of the other grades and classes and stuff. Because I
You
forget, it
make
might
a
have been the
really good.
class captain. I don't know if it was grade captain or what. It might have been class, but
Yeah, nah, you're
regardless.
right. Yeah, so like it would be cool to see Sakura go up against Umamiya. You know what I mean? And like have that conversation he keeps thinking about.
I don't know.
I
I
mean, they're
think
not
I
gonna
think we
like.
saw that Umami is out of his league.
But they're. I don't think they'll go at it. They'll just like spar, like train each other, especially for their first years. I feel like we'll get some of that. But yeah, Suo is like the ultimate wingman. He's a great character. He reminds me of like what Tanjiro from Demon Slayer would have grown up to be if his family wasn't murdered by a demon, forcing him to become like the hardest little charcoal burning boy of all time. You know what I mean? If he had a nice life and went to school and made some good friends.
Yeah, it would have been Sua. It would have been Sua for
Maybe it's the
sure.
earrings, but it's he's given that same kind of friendly
Oh yeah, it
energy.
is the earrings, dude. Yeah, you got
I
that
just thought
spot
about
on.
that. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's a great look. That's a great call. But yeah, you hit that spot on. And if there's nothing else to talk about Windbreaker, we should get into Demon Slayer because this episode was awesome, very
I
enjoyable.
loved it, bro. This was my favorite episode. I think definitely of the season, but like even last season, some of the like Tokito fights were cool, but this was like it was funny. Like the animation was kind of cool. All the funny faces, like,
Dude,
and
his
then
little talk with Genya, I love that.
yo, like Genya was like super nice out of nowhere. It's like yeah, he just had to like catch the family drama to like be friends with Genya.
Yeah, Genya
But like
just
I don't
sits
know,
down and he's
this
just like,
shit
"Hey
was
man,
awesome.
your mark. It's getting darker and stuff." And he's just like just very like calm. I feel like that's the
Yeah,
aspect again we haven't seen. He just sat there, he's all calm. He's like, "Hey man, like how you doing? Like thanks again. Like oh the mark on your head's getting darker. You know what I mean? Like you noticed that. Like they're boys now. Like they're friends. It was so sick and such
true
like a
that.
funny and sweet thing to see.
Yeah, and like this whole arc, I feel like Tanjiro's kind of brought the best of everybody out, and they're kind of like, I don't even know if you would call it bonding, because like Gyome's not really around, but like, um, they're like growing as people. Is it might be corny to say, but like it's character development. You know what I mean? That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say here. But like, and they're all kind of doing it together, and um, I don't know how you couldn't have watched this and not thought this was funny as shit. Like they keep calling Tanjiro a mom because he cooks so well, and like
Zenitsu
Zenitsu with
fading
the
again.
dude Zenitsu with the rock when he first hugs the rock when he gets out of the water. I was dying. So funny.
I love Tanjiro's like, oh my god, Zenitsu fading. He's like, put him in the river.
Yeah, yo, Gyome's awesome.
That was such an awesome scene. I mean, dude, it was so cool, and I think it really kind of showed more so to Tanjiro's growth this episode as well, because like, dude's really digging deep. We brought up Rengoku again this episode. That was huge. Him kind of being able to, I forget what that technique is called, but now he's getting a lot stronger, able to move the boulder, and everyone's like, holy shit. Tanjiro's really getting that
That was
power, and
sick.
like, I feel like that power is his connection to his mark, and we saw he was able to activate his mark in order to push the boulder. And I feel like that's going to be huge because technically, like, it seems like that mark needs to be activated. And if Tanjiro can activate it on command, that's huge. That puts him on the Hashira level, maybe even a smidge above, depending on which Hashira we're talking about.
100%, and it's important because he's a sun breather, which is like the most
Exactly.
pure form of demon slaying, I guess, or breathing. So, like, it's important. And have they explained like I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know. Like, there's different techniques. You have this repetitive motion, and what was the other one? I think it's a breathing technique or something.
Oh, total concentration.
Total concentration, yes. So they've given us these two, and there's another one.
I don't
I'm
know if
not
that one
saying
was
anything.
explained. Don't yeah, don't
I
don't
don't
say it
think it
then.
was. But like these techniques, in addition to the breathing, kind of create like, yeah, this perfect Hashira or like lethal demon slayer. So for him to like master all these techniques in addition to what he already knows, yeah, it makes him better than like a normal Hashira for sure. And like I think him being able to like tap into that would be what teaches everybody else, you know what I mean, how to do it or how they can like get to that point.
Yo, shout out to Genya too for telling him that. Genya's the one who pushed him to
Real
that next
homie.
level there. Like that was sick. But like you nailed it. And like this episode was so sick too because we saw a lot of Muzan this episode. We saw a lot of
Yo,
him. 60% of
Demon
the Demon
Slayer
Slayer
is
was found. So like
it's better. It's better when Muzan is in it. Muzan is so sick.
I'm just saying like it seems like it's really heating up or something's about to go down because we're seeing a lot of Michael Jackson. 60% of the core has been found. So it's just like I feel like next episode is gonna be like, oh, we found uh fuck, what is her name? I've been speaking too much
Nezuko.
today. Nezuko. We found that Nezuko, and like the boys are gonna go in. So like, oh, you know what I mean? And I did see that.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get into it in a second about like how everyone's like, oh, like the season's so bad, yada yada yada. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that. I don't know her name, but that upper moon that can like spy on them and can open up the doors into the Infinity Castle. Like the Infinity Castle is like her blood art or whatever.
I
Um,
fuck, he did say her name a couple times.
Regardless, everyone's saying that she's actually getting the respect that she deserves in the anime because there's a lot of things about her that they didn't put in the manga that's in the anime, like actually showing just how strong and useful and important she is to the demons.
Yeah, and I guess that's maybe some of what you don't get out of manga if they don't like make it a very forceful point to show you something or someone. I guess that is kind of true, but that's why it's nice to have, and part of it is UFO table is like the absolute goat. You know what I mean? Like they do give you a lot of extra scenes and time. So that's why it's important to watch the anime or the adaptation if you're a manga fan.
Yeah. I just think. Is there anything else from this episode before we get into like season 4 itself?
I loved it. It was so fucking funny and
It was great. It was awesome.
Gyome like popping out from the tree and like saying that little Sengen
Yeah.
Butsu or whatever. It was so good. It was like all of the funniest shit and like Zenitsu being like, you're way too optimistic. Like, this is not the place for me. So many of those moments. That's what makes Demon Slayer like funny and fun to watch, but like also badass. Tanjiro thinking
Hmm.
of his family and like Rengoku and then like moving this giant fucking boulder. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it was awesome. I think this season's amazing. And the thing is that like I haven't like it's so backwards. It's so backwards. This whole opinion of, oh, like this is like all filler and it's shit. Like, how's this filler? It's actually, it seems like it's extremely important to the actual story. We're learning a ton about the Hashira. We're learning a ton about Muzan, about like what's going on behind the scenes and with the Infinity Castle and him looking for Nezuko. Like, I feel like it's not filler, it's setup. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you drop the Infinity Castle right after season three, it's not going to be as good. And I don't know everything that happens in the Infinity Castle. I didn't read the manga or anything, but I feel like if I know it's just fighting, I know it's a season that's going to be nothing but fighting and some of the most insane fights. But I feel like those fights don't have as big of an impact if you don't have this setup for it. You know what I mean? You need a little bit of a tease before you get to that point. And you have that in
Yeah,
every anime. It's just for a full season, and I feel like it's worth it for the season. Because I said the same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. We had the Shibuya arc. I would have loved for like half a season of like them kind of getting stronger, setting up the Shibuya arc, and having those funny times, those good moments, those laughs, the smiles. Before you have that instead of one episode like that Jujutsu Kaisen had.
that's a really good point. Like I have seen people complain about like the lack of the interaction in Jujutsu Kaisen. And in a way, like that is what it's all about, but you literally get nothing after that. It's all just like fucking pedal to the metal. And it's hard to like fall in love with some of the characters and maybe their dynamics if you don't get that. And I think if you're watching, obviously if you're watching Demon Slayer at this point, you've probably watched all the seasons, right? So if you're watching, like you got to feel this momentum coming. Like you're saying, um, we saw Muzan a lot, like the Infinity Castles. We're getting like
Starting to
a
heat
better look
up.
at that. Like should feel the momentum running, and for me, that doesn't feel like filler. Like you're building what's coming up next, which is obviously like the final two arcs of the show, the series. So like I don't really count it as filler. I googled Bleach fillers because I know they were just ridiculous, and there was tons of them. And like so like it's so funny reading like the names of the episodes. Like filler for me is like not a related to the main story, and like Naruto had a good bit of filler,
Yeah,
or they're like
agreed.
side episodes where they're like fucking around, or it's unimportant. You meet characters that like don't ever show back up
The
in the
movies,
story.
all filler.
Yeah, and even the movie is filler, but like it's still enjoyable to watch.
Hmm.
Like I could see how you might feel that way about Demon Slayer, and like I'm not saying you're wrong. Like I guess it's not really filler, but like it's important to the story, and like it's still good to watch. Like some of these
Not to mention,
fucking
isn't
Bleach
filler
episodes.
like not a part of the manga? Like, isn't the whole
Yeah,
Hashira
you
training
don't.
arc a part of the manga? Like, how is this filler
Yeah,
then? It's
thousand
literally
percent, brother.
like, how is that
Very good
fucking
point.
filler? Like, that makes no goddamn sense. It's in the manga. It's obviously important to the story. Like, that's what just makes no sense. It's incredibly important, it seems like, for the Infinity Castle. It's that building up, and it's going to make the Infinity Castle hit so much harder because we're seeing so much more background with the Hashira. We're getting way more attached to them. We're seeing the growth of Tanjiro, which is going to help his strength in the Infinity Castle. If he just jumped from season 3 to Infinity Castle and he had that, like, boost in strength, it would have been like, what the fuck happened? Like, Buddy took a nap and then grew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all justified. It all kind of makes more sense. And it's just like, I don't think it's filler at all. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And the people that are saying it's filler are the same people that are like, oh, this anime is carried by animation because it's just the animation in these flashy fight scenes. But then you actually have story, and them taking their time and letting it breathe and going deeper into some of these interactions, relationship, and people. Then you're like, oh, well, this fucking sucks. You know what I mean? It's just the people that like have a stick up
Yeah.
their ass, and constantly complaining about like everything. It's either, oh, if there's action, oh well, it's just carried by animation. It's not that great. When it's actually story, it's like, oh my god, well this is boring. It's like, well, what do you fucking want? Do you want the fighting and the action, or do you want the story? Because you get either, you're gonna be a bitch about it. So it just makes no sense.
That's a really, really good point. Like this was written in the manga, so it's obviously pertinent to the main story and everything. And I also think it would feel weird and wrong, and it would feel like you're rushing it if you didn't set this. I don't even know what you want to call it. These next couple arcs up, right? Obviously, Muzan's looking for Nezuko because she's conquered the sun, which is his entire plan. That's what he's been trying to do since day one. So,
Yeah, be
like,
immortal.
yeah, like that for me feels better than like everyone comes back from the entertainment district after killing um what was that, Upper Moon 5?
No,
Six.
six. Upper Moon six. Upper Moon six. Yeah, it's
So six.
Daki, and then his name starts with a G.
Gyukaku or something.
I have no
He was a
idea,
he was gross, bro. Great character.
dude. Awesome character.
Um,
The backstory. Oh my god.
dude, he like pulls his hair out and like scratches his own skin. I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh, this guy's fucking gross. um, yeah, but it would have felt weird if like, all right, you killed Upper Moon 6 and then you got to come back and you just get invaded by like all these Upper Moons, or there's some like crazy Muzan appearance that like wasn't built up, because he's like a very calculated villain.
Yeah.
So like I appreciate that. And like, I don't know, you're definitely right though. People would complain either way, but like, do we need that instant gratification that bad? Like, there's still been enough combat to keep me
Yeah.
happy and shit. But like, you're definitely right. It makes you like more attached to the Hashira, which is like the whole point of the last couple
And it
arcs. We're
builds
gonna
it
see them
up.
in action.
Yeah, and it builds it up where you're like it has the emotion kind of playing onto it instead of just fights. You know what I mean? You have like the backing of it, and I feel like that's when the next couple episodes in season four I feel like are going to be insane because I feel like we're gonna go back to Shinobu, and there's a lot there. You know what I mean? She's got a lot of animosity
True
against one of
that.
the Upper Moons. We saw her really pissed off, so we're gonna see how that plays out. I feel like Muzan's gonna find them, and then he's gonna have that initial fight, that initial clash. I feel like it's gonna be at the end of the season. So I feel like at the end of the season, the next episode or two are gonna be crazy. Where we're like, holy shit, and we're gonna be losing ourselves trying to wait for season five. You know what I mean? And that's the entire point of season
100%.
four is to have that like foaming at the mouth, a rabid and feral, waiting for that next season.
Dude, yeah, I know exactly right. We're gonna feel that way. Like, it'll definitely build up and play out well. And I think it's important to like, at least for me, not judge a season until like the full thing comes out, or not judge a record off a couple songs. Like, it still is going to be a good season to me, but also we don't know what's going to happen yet or how it's going to play out. But we got a lot of Giyu and like some of the history between Tsunemi and Genya. Like, we'll definitely learn more about Shinobu, and yeah, it'll be all like very important and pertinent information. And I mean, I'm excited for it. I would think everybody else would be too, because you never know how this
Yeah.
story's going to end and
And it's like,
who's going to
dude,
be around.
the next season is like the main entree as well. Like you gotta have a good appetizer to warm you up for that. It's like just going right into
Facts.
that. It's like no, sit back, enjoy, relax. Because after the next
That's
season,
a
it's like what the fuck's next? What is there? Like shut the fuck up and enjoy, buddy.
That's a fire analogy. Like, you wouldn't go to a
Yeah,
nice restaurant and not get like a couple drinks or like a nice appetizer or something.
exactly.
Like, the restaurants don't work that way. You know what I mean? But like, you go to McDonald's, you get your quarter pounder and a Coke, and you're out the door. Like, I don't know, it
Exactly.
would feel
Yo,
cheap.
nailed it beautifully. Yes.
It would feel cheap if they just like went right into it. So
Yeah, right there.
well
Exactly.
executed. Well executed, Jake.
Do you
Well
want your
done.
fast food or your 5-star fucking steak? I mean, like, this is what we want here. This is I feel like, and the thing is too, is I'm seeing a lot of people bitch and complain about the season, but then you go to the comments and there's a bunch of people that are like, if you read the manga, this is very important. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about?
I do feel like, in a way, like I have that foresight. Like, I am a degenerate manga reader week to week. So like, I know what to expect. So like, waiting for fucking like the Shibuya incident for years was like, it was exciting, but it's painful. Like, you want this shit, but like, you also know what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be worth it. If I have like a slow couple episodes or whatever, like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So like, I guess I am spoiled in a way like that, but it's like, these are like the heavy hitters of anime. Like, they're not gonna suck, and I feel like they only get to be that way because they've had a really successful manga.
Well, is Demon Slayer a heavy hitter? Because I see that one get a lot of hate. But
Yeah, I
like
feel like
the
the last two
constant
seasons, but
comments on animation is just through the roof. Like you always hear that.
because it's UFO table, yes. Um, I mean, I guess it's just because I know the ending. Everybody's gonna be absolutely glazing it because the fucking fights are so good.
Dude, I mean, I can't wait. I personally love it, but I just, that there's a lot of people, like, when we did our tier list, that's
You're
one of
right
the ones,
though.
our placement of Demon Slayer is one of the ones that got shit on. And we put some of the, like, the big hitters low. You know what I mean? Like, there was plenty where I can see people kind of be like, you placed that way too low, but everyone was talking about how we placed, Demon Slayer too high, and we didn't even place it that high, I think. I think we placed, like, third to the top. Like, third tier
It's,
to the top.
I would also say too, like, as um a closet weeb, when I like go to conventions and shit, like, or even just talking to people, that I meet, it's like, oh, you like anime? Like, oh, Demon Slayer is always like a very popular answer. And like, for me, I think that's important because if it gets people into anime or like you enjoy it, that in itself makes it a decent anime. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
Demon
yeah.
Slayer is like, especially for this newer age, you know, like you don't have Naruto on every week, Bleach, One Piece. Well, yeah, you do have One Piece on. That's crazy. But
And
like
yeah, One Piece
these,
and Bleach both.
like they're not. You, it's important to have those like new gen animes, if you can even call it that at this point, because it's got 4 seasons. Like to get people into it and keep like good quality anime out there.
Yeah.
Not that like obviously Kaiju or Windbreaker isn't doing that
Mhm.
for us like this season or Freyrin. Like there's plenty of good shit, but like
Oh,
yeah, Demon
so
Slayer's
many.
I would say a heavy hitter, but I could see if I do know what you mean. People do kind of shit talk it a lot.
I think the shit talk is just online from like a few people. Because like, you even go to conventions and what's everyone dressed as in cosplaying? Fucking Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayers, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, you see the fan base for it is huge, and like going and speaking on what you were saying, but then also going to our discussion from a couple of episodes ago, like podcast episodes, dude. Netflix just stocked up. I went and watched My Oni Girl, that movie, anime movie, and I saw like all like the newly added animes, like Jujutsu Kaisen movie, Hell's Paradise, and Hell's Paradise I think is going to be the new Demon Slayer when Demon Slayer is gone. That anime that's super popular that everyone talks about. Just because one,
Oh
it's
yeah.
fucking sick, but everyone I've suggested Hell's Paradise too has binged it literally that day within that 24-hour period. Came back and said that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Like they love it, and I feel like that's gonna be like an easy cosplay too, where people are like, "This is just sick." You know
True
what I mean?
that. Yeah.
So, and with it being on Netflix now, I feel like Hell's Paradise is something that's going to blow up in attention. And it's just like, dude, anime is becoming so easy to watch. You don't need Crunchyroll anymore. You really don't. Like, the biggest titles, Blue Lock,
Yeah.
too. Blue Lock, I think, is on Hulu now. Like, Hulu and Netflix has some of the most insane, low key anime, uh, I don't know, collections now. Like, it's crazy
You're
how they've been stocking up over the past couple years.
100% right. And that's important too. You don't want just like a monopoly with just Crunchyroll. Like
Hmm.
Hulu getting Bleach's new arc, that's fucking huge. Obviously having Disney, you know, as their backing is like huge, but yeah, it's just more accessible. It's you know, pretty much anywhere you go, you can find good anime. I know like some of the free streaming apps, they have like a One Piece channel or Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, like to have anime channels on there, which is like super sick.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Hulu does. Yeah, did you say Hulu? Hulu, I think, has an anime channel.
I don't know if Hulu does, but even like the originals, that's what I wanted to say. You had like Cyberpunk on Netflix, which was
Hmm.
anime of the year, and regardless of how we feel about it, like that's sick. That means people were really into it. We were talking about Go Go Loser Rangers, which is a Hulu original. It was a
Yeah.
great story. Like it's been a lot of fun to watch, and
We have a
I'm
video
always
coming out on
impressed.
that when it ends too, by the way.
Yeah, a casual plug there.
Because we
But yeah,
both started it the night like at the end of last podcast episode where we're like, oh, we should try out this Go Go Loser Ranger. But someone said it. I think one of my viewers on stream or something. The people brought it up. I'm like, hey man, we should like check this out. We both binged it that night up to episode 9 because that's all that was
super
out.
good.
So amazing videos coming out. When that ends, we're gonna have a whole breakdown of kind of like what it's about, why you should watch it, and just why it's so amazing. So you're absolutely right. And the thing people forget is that like Hulu is owned by Disney. Crunchyroll is owned by Sony. So, Disney is going to be buying up fucking everything just to compete against Crunchyroll. So, and it's all on Hulu, not Disney
Definitely.
Plus, which is sick too. So, you see that happening. Netflix is like, oh, we're competing against Hulu. So, you see them adding to their reserves of anime. So, it's just blowing up in such a way. Like, if you want someone who to be like, someone doesn't watch anime at all, they can watch some top tier grade A anime on Netflix. Netflix has some of the biggest titles, and they've done exclusives too with the Black Clover movie. So, like, and everyone
Oh
has
yeah.
Netflix just naturally. So that's how they can get taste. That's like the entrance, the little starter to the anime is by someone just having Netflix, watching some of them, and then you go to Hulu, which has a ton of the low key animes. Hulu that people are forgetting, not only has some like top anime, which is like really good, like they have Blue Lock and stuff now. They have some of like the most low key anime and some of the best originals. Heavenly Delusion, which was a phenomenal fucking anime, an anime that exploded. Hulu original. Go Go Loser Ranger, Hulu original. They have Evidence of the Shadow
Right on.
now, which is a High Dive exclusive. So if anything, if Oshinoko leaves High Dive or like doesn't become an exclusive anymore, it's probably gonna go to Hulu. You
Yeah, good
see
point.
you see other titles. I forget what it is. It's like something family. There's an anime where I keep seeing a bunch of shorts from that one as well. That's apparently on Hulu. Like Hulu has like Netflix has all the big names. Hulu has some big names, but also like when you start getting into anime, they have all of those amazing animes to then dive into. So it's insane just how easily accessible it is for anime now, and how easy it is to get someone started on anime for free, pretty much.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I think it's important too. But there's a lot of quality out there. We've watched so much good stuff since we started this podcast. It's been a blast. But I mean, I think One Piece will end in a couple years. You know what I mean? I feel like we always say that, but once these animes are done, like, you know what I mean? We'll miss them
Do
for
you
sure. So
think,
like,
in a way, that One Piece kind of hurts people getting into anime? Because like when people hear and no one knows about anime and everyone's like,
yeah,
"Oh, One Piece, One Piece, One Piece," and then someone's like, "Okay, well, let me check out One Piece," and they're like, "This kind of sucks." Because what they're gonna start at episode one, and do you think
or
episode
like,
one's great for someone who's never watched anime before?
fuck no,
You know
it's
what
not
I
even
mean?
good. I love anime, but like, I will say I agree with you because like when people ask me, um, like, oh, what's your favorite anime or what's one you like, I'll usually go with One Piece just because it's super fucking popular, but then it's
Hmm.
like, oh, that's way too many episodes. So I'll usually say like Jujutsu Kaisen, and
Yeah.
that's super popular too. But and the only reason I am caught up, is because COVID. It's like, yeah, I'll take on this challenge, and I just watched hundreds of
Wait, I
episodes.
think that's when One Piece exploded, and probably because of that reason.
Yeah, and like that's the only time you have that amount of time. Actually, my friend Al, he's like caught up with the dub. He like started from episode one and shredded it for like like a year or two with his girlfriend,
Jesus
fiance.
Christ.
Badass. I love it. And I got another friend who's like made it to Arlong Park. So I'm trying to get him to get into it. But like anytime I feel like you find like somebody who's into One Piece, it's like the greatest fucking story ever written. It's insane. And like how they use old characters and old villains, like
Mm.
it is a really good story. So like I promise there's a reason it's got, almost fucking
Yeah, but it's
1200
horrible to
episodes.
get a new person into.
And the first like 600 to 700 episodes, the animation. I
Yeah.
mean, Wano was where the animation got good actually. So like, yeah, there are some negatives or cons, I guess you could say, but top tier story, very good
Hmm.
shit.
So, like, I feel like that's kind of sick. The last thing I kind of want to say about filler in general is I feel like filler can actually be like super useful and really nice because it's like if it here's the things though, filler needs in order to be good, it needs to be canon. Don't just show us shit that makes no sense to the story. Like for example, the Black Clover movie, I was stoked for it, fucking hated it for the simple fact
Thank you,
that it's
brother.
not
Thank
canon.
you.
It's not canon. He develops this new power, gets this new badass sword, and like ends up fighting a wizard king and defeating him. But it's like, oh, none of that really existed. Okay, well then, what was the point of those 2 hours? If it's not a
I'm
part of the
100%
story,
with you.
fuck that shit, right? So that's the bad filler, in my opinion, that has filler having a bad name. Now, good filler, in my opinion, is stuff that's canon, has to do with the story, and maybe just dives a little deeper in certain areas. Like if that Black Clover movie was about Asta's past, would have been beautiful. Would have been amazing if it
True
showed his
that.
his his where about his mom, why he has no magic, how he ended up at the orphanage. That would have been amazing. And if it was canon, so I feel like filler gets a bad name. I feel like it actually be really good. I know for me, like Fairy Tail has some filler arcs, and they're actually good arcs. Like they're actually like fun. Sometimes it's nice to have the anime breathe and have like a little bit of break from the main story, but it has to be those animes that have like hundreds of episodes. An anime we've talked about before has changed to purely being about the story. So now filler in those animes does suck. But
That's a really good point.
yeah,
Like, I guess, and people's attention spans aren't as long. Like, you're never gonna get a One Piece where you have like a 30-year-old fucking anime running
yeah.
across decades. So that is like one point, and I definitely agree with you. Filler can be like useful if you're like Jujutsu Kaisen, where you're like pumping out manga chapters for us feral animals every week, like getting 2 or 3 months to breathe and just get like fillers in. That's not a bad idea because like I feel like you can write a better story when you're doing that, when you have the time and flexibility. But I think people would complain. You can't just take a break in the middle of action. But I always try to think of like the authors and like the quality, and it's like
Yeah, and
I
it
would
helps
always,
the illustrators and the animators too, because like you see a lot of filler too when there's like a lot
yeah,
of big
very
fight
true.
scenes with a lot of insane animation. You see a little bit of filler. Like again, like filler's not bad if it's entertaining and if it's canon. Because if it's not canon, then don't show us. There's no goddamn point. It's an absolute waste. But like if it's entertaining and like it has to do with the story, like filler's perfect to just dive in deeper in certain areas. Like there was some Naruto filler that was awesome. So it went into Itachi's
Yeah,
backstory when he was a kid. Same thing with Kakashi. Like some of that stuff, because that was all after like when the war kind of ended, got to the war, got kind of the end. Like that's when they started doing filler, which makes sense because they were probably burned out, and it was just a lot of stuff where it was like, oh, this is great because you learn a lot more. So like filler can be really good. But at the same time, there is some shitty filler. So I feel like when you talk about filler, it really kind of matters which one you're talking about because I feel like in certain
definitely.
aspects it gets way too much hate.
Fairy Tail definitely has some good episodes, but you're right. It has to be that kind of anime where like
Yeah.
it, like even One Piece doesn't really have filler. It does have like some episodes here and there, but like even that shit is like all about the main story.
Hmm.
So like you're right. If it's canon and has like actual value or like purpose, I'm with it. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, and like that's where like you see Black Clover movie that's like fucking waste. Even some of the Naruto movies, they were just like not canon. Like they were cool. It was fun to see a little side thing, but then when something happens where it's like, well, now it's not added in the actual show, it's just kind of like, boys, like come on. But anyways, guys, we went so off topic, and like just so out of it towards that end. We got like if you stayed for that whole like confusing thing when we started
Hell
getting
yeah.
into the Demon Slayer season, like, hey, thank you, we appreciate
A real
it.
one. Let's go.
Hopefully it was enjoyable, but like yeah, dude, this week was absolutely disgustingly good. I mean, with
And I feel
Windbreaker,
like
Black Clover, Kaiju number 8, like
these next couple weeks are going to be bangers too. So I'm really, really excited, and I feel like everything's scheduled out just enough to give us like 4 or 5 weeks of just like awesome animes and like endings to seasons and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
dude, listen, boys, I'm gonna be so sad because we're coming to an
I
end
know.
here. I mean, Kaiju 8 Windbreaker is coming to an end. Some other animes are coming to an end. It's sad, but it gets us excited, especially if they're gonna have season 2. If they're going to have season 2s. That is
They
the
have
problem.
to.
We need them to. But anyways, that's gonna bring a whole another season though, right afterwards, which is gonna have some other banging anime. We're gonna have a
True
video
that.
that's going to be coming out. We have a lot of videos coming out. Because listen, we're going to have a video coming out about Go Go Loser Ranger, why you should watch it, why it's amazing. We're going to have a video coming out about the summer season, what is coming. We did that with the spring season, dropped some sleepers, looked at some ones we thought were going to be good. Hey, we talked about Windbreaker during that, and we said that that was going to be awesome. And it's been awesome.
Let's
So
go.
we're gonna be doing that the summer season. And should we do a video grading the animes that we've watched in the spring season? Because we've watched a lot of them. If you are interested in that, let us
That's
know
a
in the
great
comments
idea.
down below. Because we're not gonna have them in a tier list of what's better, but like kind of give them a grade of how they did this season and some hopes for next season. If you guys want to see that, we'll drop that video as well. But like what a fucking anime season. The spring season has just been insane. Coming to an end, but there's still
Banger.
some animes that have been going on for a while. Like My Hero Academia kind of just started, and animes like that. But damn, I cannot wait to see what summer season brings us. But hope you guys enjoyed. And I think that's it. Peace, guys.
Peace.